because you're not like out with the breeze on you, and it was warm. And then after 30 minutes, I was like, no, I'm in a puddle of sweat. I've ruined the belt, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going out. I just ran 30 more minutes, sold it.
Have you sold it yet, or is it?
I'm dropping it off today.
Nice. Well, we're live. Just going to kick off with my one finger. The dexterity on the man. We're going to try and be as consistent as possible with these things. Maybe not on the exact same day every time, but we want to start doing it a little bit more often. And we'll kind of make them a little bit shorter, but a little bit more sweeter. So we want to really hone in on the CrossFit Open, what the CrossFit Open is, why we think you should do it, and a couple of maybe stories as well from when we've done the CrossFit Open in the past. But in a nutshell, what is the CrossFit Open?
So, I mean, officially, the CrossFit Open is... I wrote down some notes. I'm going to refer to some of them. But the CrossFit Open is like... It's an international test. It's run by CrossFit. That it is a community-based event where one workout is done this year over 3 weeks. So a workout will get released each week on a Friday, and you've got till Monday or Tuesday morning to do the workout. But essentially, the Open can mean... It has multiple different meanings and definitions and reasons to why you would actually do it. But it is an international community test. Not a competition, it is a test. It's really important to understand that about the CrossFit Open.
Yeah, and typically it's done around February, March every single year, which kind of kicks off the entire season. So we've all been in a bit of a downtime, Christmas, New Year's, whatnot. But our programming and our training has been leaning towards what's coming up. So typically end of Feb, start of March, this worldwide Open kicks off. I believe it started in 2011. And so it's been going for a long time now. And maybe it's changed a little bit and tweaked over that time. But basically what I think of it as just a test of your fitness and a bit of a benchmark for you every single year as to how you rank to previous you, to the peers. You can create custom leaderboards as well with how you fare between the ages of 35 and 45, or the people in Brisbane, or males in Queensland, or nurses, military personnel. You can create a whole bunch of custom leaderboards. You can create your own custom leaderboard with you and your friends, so you can kind of throw down and get competitive that way. But in a nutshell, yeah, it's to kick off the season, and typically, and this year, 3 weeks. So 3, maybe 4 tests over the 3 weeks.
Yeah, and although Greg's referring to a season as in potentially the competitive season for certain CrossFitters, for that maybe top 25%, top 10%, top 1% who are maybe aspiring. But an example I've used now with so many people and how I explain it is the CrossFit Open is almost like an annual health checkup, but it's in regards to your fitness, in that if you sign up or when you sign up and you do this Open every single year, you get a relative fitness or a percentage of where your fitness levels are at based on other CrossFitters worldwide. Obviously, like you said, you can filter that and have some fun with in Oceania, in Australia, in Queensland, within maybe your occupation, first responder, etc., etc. But I'm a big fan of actually doing the Open because every single year I get to rate how well my fitness is going, how well have I improved, have I maybe slacked off in certain areas, maybe this area is a strength, this is a weakness, and then based off my Open scores or workouts or when I review my performance each and every year, I now have almost 12 months, or I have 12 more months of consistent work ahead of me. And that's a big one for me when I look at the Open is it's not just the kickstart of my CrossFit competitive season, is that, hey, I get a really good, humble dose of perspective on what I need to do as a person, as an athlete. And your job when you look at your health and fitness in your life, and this is everyone from a 50-year-old to a 70-year-old to your day one, 10 5-year-olds who's maybe starting their fitness journey or whatever, but your job is to become as athletic as possible in life. And by doing that, or by striving to be as athletic as possible, you need to be honest about what you need to work on. And when we have a consistent test every single year, which meets the definition of CrossFit, which is the CrossFit Open, is going to give you that perspective, and it gives you 12 really solid months of goals, of perspective, of motivation or discipline for you now to prepare for to become a better athlete.
Something that makes me pretty proud about being a CrossFitter is I got reminded of it the other day when we threw down and we tested our 1 rep max snatch. Remember that?
Yes.
And then the next day, literally going for a 10K run. And then the next day, it's literally like a short, intense, high interval kind of a workout. And days like that where I go like 3 different style energy systems, I buzz over that, and I'm like, that's what a really honest, old school CrossFitter kind of like strives towards, is like trying to just challenge themselves in every aspect, whether you're good at it or not. And I think we should kind of like look at that as like the CrossFit Open as well. If you're like, fuck burpees suck, then it's like, well, you know what, maybe, maybe you need to look at yourself rather than the CrossFit Open. And to just challenge yourself on them experiences, like doing a weightlifting competition, doing the CrossFit Open, getting outside the box a little bit, and really using these challenges to better yourself is what the whole point is. And so the CrossFit Open, we're obviously not going to do a 10K run and a 1 rep max snatch, although we might do a 1 rep max snatch. It's still about hitting different stimuluses and really is like testing your athleticism. And yes, there'll be CrossFit workouts, but there'll be a little tweak in there, or there'll be a little twist, or there'll be something that you might not have done before, or a new movement announced that we haven't been training for, and they'll see if your consistency over the weeks, months, years of you just doing constantly very functional movements performed at a high intensity, if that works for you in the CrossFit Open to just adapt. And I really, really love them days where we do really contrasty style workouts, because that's what reminds me of why I'm a CrossFitter and why I fucking love this shit. And when I try and do one of too many things, or too many of the same thing, I get really bored and bogged down. And I think a really good CrossFitter does love to go for them long runs, does like to do burpees, does love weightlifting, loves like gymnastic stuff. And you find that you're just trying to like continue to expand the margins of your experience rather than shoot for the stars on one thing, but everything else kind of like shrinks up and gets worse.
Man, I think I got this from Ben Smith, who's like an OG CrossFitter. He won the CrossFit Games. I think one of his biggest motivations when he started CrossFit is he made a comment saying, CrossFitters are your modern day superheroes. Because what do you think about, it's like a Superman coming in, is that he can do everything. He can fly, he can jump, he's smart, the intellect's there. And like when I think of CrossFitters, you can do everything. Last week we did a swim, run, and then we lifted our body weight for 30 reps in a clean. Like, there's people who, not to say there's anything wrong with different training methodologies. If people are moving, it's great. But I think when you come to CrossFit, you expand on what you're able to do. And that's why the Open's so important, because it shows you what you need to work on. Every single person, let's say there's 1 million people that sign up for the Open worldwide this year. That means 1 million people are going to get exposed in their fitness somehow. Even the person who wins could have tidied up somewhere in their fitness. And that is huge, because it gives them a bit of humble pie. It gives you something to work on. Where can you become a better athlete, better person, whatever it is that you're striving is right there at the end of the 3 weeks of the Open when you get to do that review.
Yeah, I think people lose perspective sometimes because they're so ingrained in the CrossFit community, but what we do is still very unique, like picking up a heavy-ass barbell, then going for an 800-meter run. What we did the other day was very, very unique. Swim, run, heavy power cleans. It's like doing normal people just coming in and doing ring muscle-ups or rope climbs. Like, that is still very unusual. And I know we're in the ecosystem, so it's just like all our friends do it. Everyone that when we open Instagram, everyone does it. But it's still very, very unique, and I still like to think we're somewhat underground. I'm just looking at the season as well. So yeah, 26th of February through to the 16th of March is the CrossFit Open. So that's going to be 3 weeks. Typically, we would run it over the weekend, so it gets announced Thursday or Friday morning for us.
Yep.
And then so we'll have Friday to prepare, logistics, run through it, kind of like maybe test it, give our thoughts, and then typically we're going to hit it like Saturday or Sunday or Monday, and we'll have until like Monday night or Tuesday morning to submit, and then the rest of the week we CrossFit HQ tallies the scores, and then they'll release another workout the next week, and then on the third week. And the leaderboard that you'll see on CrossFitGames.com will pop out the leaderboard on like a Tuesday, and you can kind of like, talk shit and throw down and send it your way. But yeah, that's it. You just want to get familiar with the website, games.crossfit.com, and that's where all the fun stuff's going to happen. And we'll have links on that from our socials and stuff like that.
And we can clip this. Oh, I hope you can clip this, and we can put this up. 2026 is going to be CrossFit Duck's biggest open that, at least since I've been here, that we've ever done. And I can't stress enough the amount of passion and the amount of energy that's coming from the back end from the team right now is huge. I don't think we've ever been this excited, especially myself. Like, I'm really pumped for this community for 2026. I think this is something that we really need. We're going to lean into it. We're going to really, as coaches, be getting behind this idea that every single person, every one of our member, doesn't matter your background, your goals, your athletic ability, your age, every single person should be striving to do the CrossFit Open. It is not something that is for this exclusive competitor or this group. It is a test which is for absolutely everyone. There is multiple divisions. Like, I know we spoke about that we can categorize our scores and have some fun with people, but there are multiple divisions across the Open as well. So if there are movements, if there are weights that normally pop up, all of this is scalable. All right, and across those divisions, you're still going to get that test of true fitness. And honestly, like, I get more excited for that everyday person who has the courage this year to step up and say, you know what, I'm going to do the CrossFit Open. Yeah. Because it's easy for people who are competing and it's the start of their season. And I always say it's easy for me to have motivation because I'm competing. I'm throwing down, I'm choosing to rock up and to try to be better than someone at this sport. But for that everyday person who doesn't have aspirations to compete, but just wants to show up and show a better version of themselves tomorrow than what they are at today, that's the person that I get most excited for when it comes to CrossFit, because that's where the methodology and the community is.
Yeah, we touch a lot on the word competition and a season and whatnot, but you guys are going to be doing these workouts regardless. We're going to be programming them anyway, so you're going to be doing them. And I guarantee you, other than the expectation that some people have on themselves, you would have done harder, worse, more aggressive workouts in our regular programming, and that's what we want as well. A lot of the time, people just put the pressure on themselves to be like, this is going to hurt, blah, 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 because I've got a lot on the line or whatever. But you've done much worse workouts than this, so just letting you know. And to give a few examples as well, there are 3 levels to this. You've got RX, you've got scaled, and you've got foundations. And yes, you can, over the 3 weeks, change from RX to scaled or scaled to foundations, and you just sort of like log your score as you would typically in a normal day. But foundations is more for people that can't do pull-ups, can't do double unders. They're just getting into CrossFit, or they're a little bit more aged, so they'd be doing things like empty barbell thrusters, jumping pull-ups, air squats, ring rows, stuff like that. Scaled would be lighter weights from the RX, like we would typically see in the class programming as well. Maybe things like jumping chest to bar pull-ups, single unders,
half wall walks, halfway up.
Half wall walks, yep. Stuff like that. And then RX is just your typical, run-of-the-mill. You can do double unders, or you're going to attempt double unders. You can do your chin over bar pull-ups. And the way that they actually structure these workouts is quite smart and progressive as well. So they're going to always allow the majority of the people to start the workout, and then let's say it's a 12-minute AMRAP, and most people are getting to the back end of the workout at like minute 7, 8, or 9, and then their movements start to progress in difficulty. So the best in the world might get there, but for most people, you kind of like get through as far as you can in the workout. So it might progress from like thrusters at 40 kilos, and then thrusters at 50 or 60 kilos, and then potentially thrusters a little bit heavier towards the back end of the workout, if you even get there. They've definitely gotten better with the programming as well in the CrossFit Open to really highlight people's athleticisms, and a lot of the time they are kind of like short and sweet, you know, like you're looking at like that 7 to 12 minute mark of just like high intensity. But there has been workouts where we kind of like go on a little bit longer, maybe like 20 minutes. I remember there was one which was like shuttle runs and burpee pull-ups, and then you've got a heavy thruster at the end of that as well. So they are going to hit some different time domains, but you're still going to want to, you know, get it done within that class window.
And I think you can highlight the fact that it is a test too. So like everything that we are doing as a gym or as an affiliate is going to be a lens towards preparing you for this test. And when it's time to do the test, what's really cool about the Open is the amount of intensity that comes from these workouts. Like they're normally extremely basic, especially week 1 and week 2, and they allow people to provide as much intensity as they can because the movements are quite simple. The weights are quite simple. Like what Greg said, they normally progress as we go, so maybe it lends towards having a little bit of better skills, but most of the time we do see very similar movements, but you're going to find that they're very simple, and we're just going to be leaning towards people really ripping in and having a crack and being able to showcase or expose areas of your fitness.
Yeah. A lot of us have done sport before, right? And to me, this is kind of like our sport. This is our season. This is kind of like the really fun, exciting time of the year where we all get around each other and we kind of like try to showcase all the hard work we've been doing over the last couple of months. And so really try to like channel that and get around each other. And there is that whole saying, you know, like one and done as well. You just got to get in there and you just got to rip in. But I love pushing back on that a little bit because I know the people where that came from. That one and done mentality was always from like an affiliate owner that doesn't want to be here on a Sunday or redoing it on a Monday because it's more logistics for them. But I've always said 2 things. Firstly, if you want to redo it again, I will be there, right there for you. But you don't want to go into it wanting to do it twice. You always go in being like, I'm going to give my best shot. And then if someone's just like, you know what, my rope broke halfway through, or I completely shut the bed and I went out way too fast on the rower at the beginning, or something just like from a mismanagement point of view, there can be that mentality. You know what, I did it on Saturday morning and I'm going to have a rest day and I'm going to try and better myself. And to me, that's like what an athlete would want to do. And it would be a little bit rude to be saying, hey, one and done for you, but I can do it 3 times because I've got an ego, you know? So 2 things, go into it giving your absolute all. We're going to put out little strategy videos and potentially do it prior to everyone doing it. So we've got a bit of a game plan for everyone and how we feel, how we made a mistake. And then you've got to pay attention to that, chat to a coach or your friend and like strategize how you're going to best attack these workouts. But this should be your season, and all of us aren't going to the CrossFit Games. Some of us might progress to like the quarterfinals or whatever, but I want you to pretend like this is your CrossFit Games. And we do have the ability to maybe attack it multiple times if you can just like slightly better your score. Not to say that you want to go into the mind frame of like, I'm going to do it 3 times, but this is your season. So rip in and just have a really fucking good time. It's literally 3 weeks of your life. And I promise you, if you don't do it, you will regret it because when you watch the type of enthusiasm and energy that comes out from these weekends, you will 100% regret not doing it.
Man, you can see that passion. Like we haven't even spoken about the community side of the Open yet and why you would do it from a community standpoint. But in terms of building on what Greg just said, this is like it's like making the top 8 in the NRL, and this is your first week of finals, but you don't have a second chance. Like, this is elimination. And if that's it, it's like, but that's also the start of our season. So I know it's a bit of a mismetaphor, but it's like, hey, come in, you're going to give 1,000%. You're going to do it, you're going to redo it if you need to. Yeah. You absolutely show up, but this is it. Like, this is your season. This should be everything that you're striving towards to peak fitness for the Open. Even as your everyday athlete, have just once a little bit of, this is a really good time to isolate some training and actually lean in towards the Open. It's like signing up for a marathon that you know is in 6 months, that you're going to start to build with your training. The intensity comes, you're building, and then you run your marathon. It's the same with the CrossFit Open. Like, everyone can be doing this, and you can start to prepare in the next 8 weeks we have till the Open. Start to prepare, speak to coaches on how you can actually maybe progress your skills, or what can you do to put yourself in the best position to succeed come the Open. And then as coaches, we're going to do our best with the programming, with the podcast, to help prepare you and educate you so you can perform to your max capability come that weekend. And if that means you have to redo it because there was a mistake, then sure. When it comes to redoing, you need to be really honest with yourself, because there's only 2 ways you better your score if you're redoing a workout, and that's just to work harder or to have a different strategy or to do something you didn't do the time before. And your coaches are your greatest tool at getting the best result possible come these 3 weeks in the Open. And we're hoping that this year that we can be better at putting you in a position to succeed and get everything you want out of your Open experience.
So do you actually have anything... How many times have you done the Open?
I think this is my 4th time.
Do you have any cool stories or any sort of like standout years or workouts that you've done in the past?
Stories. I don't recommend this story. I can tell you a story that I don't recommend. So my first Open, I'd done CrossFit for maybe like 8 weeks before my first Open, and I actually did a CrossFit comp 2 weeks before. And in that CrossFit comp, egotistical, arrogant, kind of come from a rugby background where I was like, CrossFitters aren't real athletes. Like, who chooses to do CrossFit? Like, all the athletes are in rugby and AFL, and just egotistical. Came in, I ended up giving myself rhabdomyolysis in a competition in Canberra 2 weeks before the Open. And then I ended up being in hospital for about a week. Really bad case of rhabdo. And then the Open announcement came on Friday, and I was meant to get discharged on Saturday morning from the hospital, but I thought it was better that I discharge myself, sneak out, go do the CrossFit Open, put up the most ridiculously stupid, silly score, because I thought that if I went back to hospital, I'd be able to get back on a drip and I'd be able to recover better. And then if I got discharged on Saturday and then tried to do the workout Saturday, at the time, I gave my ex-girlfriend a heart attack, but I don't recommend that in the slightest. Like, your health should be first.
What was the workout?
15-minute AMRAP, 3 wall walks, 12 dumbbell snatches, 15 box jump overs.
That was 2018 or 19?
No, later than that. 2020 maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this is my 5th Open.
Yeah.
5th or 4th, yeah.
Ooh.
But what about you? You've made...
I was in the first ever CrossFit Open, and people keep saying if this workout ever popped up again, you would just quit CrossFit. But 7 minutes of burpees. That was the first CrossFit Open workout, and he's never reprogrammed that again. We actually programmed it during the cyclone to just do it home.
You're actually going to do it before the Open.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Don't quit CrossFit.
Don't quit CrossFit.
7 minutes of burpees. Bloody hell. I remember that year, actually, me and the guy that I used to work for, it was a big, like, one and done as well. We've got other jobs we've got to get to. Yeah. You just got to get in, do the workout, one and done. And I ended up beating him by like 3 or 4 reps. And he did the workout like 4 or 5 times in 4 or 5 days. I ended up doing it like 3 times as well. Oh, man. And far out. 7 minutes of burpees. I've done it a few times since, and I still can't better my score back from 2012 or 11 or whatever it was. But there's that one that I mentioned a few years ago, how it was burpees, snatch, burpees, snatch, burpee, snatch. We redid the workout, and I couldn't snatch 75 kilos at the time. And that was probably my body weight at the time as well. But I had about 3 or 4 minutes on that barbell, and I just couldn't snatch it. And me and Anne went away on a weekend away, and all I could think about was just snatching. It was the most detrimental thing to my health. All I could think about was snatching, redoing the workout. We had a miserable time away. All I wanted to do was talk about CrossFit, and I specifically remember just like going back on a Monday morning and just absolutely sending it. And I had less time on that barbell, but I finally snatched that weight, and it was just a little bit of a proud moment for me. You know, I don't need to go into like too much detail about it, but it's just something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And it was like the pressure that I put on myself was the reason why I actually went back there and knuckled in. I made sure I sleep really well, eat food, anything, no, don't drink any alcohol, anything I could do to just trying to like get back to the gym and just be better than I was a few days ago. And, you know, it's that kind of stuff that I learn lessons from the CrossFit Open. And now that I've done it for so many years, there might be a retest. There might be something that's popped up in previous years, and I've got so much data to look back on. I probably recorded how I attacked the workout as well. And with social media, I could probably go through my feed and like see what I was going through back then. And it's just a really good opportunity to compare you with previous you. And, you know, I'm getting older now, but I can honestly say I'm still at like one of my best versions of myself, even though I was 33 when I was doing these workouts way back then, and now I'm 43, but I can still challenge my previous self with the experience and maybe like a little bit more mental preparation and fortitude, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some amazing stories and people have some amazing experiences with the Open, but I've been trying to like find a way or a time in this podcast to like, something has been popping up on my mind. I actually saw this online, but the comment was made that if you want to be able to perform, if you want to be able to look a different way next year than you've ever done, then you have to do something that you've never done before. And for those people who are sitting on the fence or whether I should do the Open or it's just a money grab or whatever like this, which we can talk about as well, is that you're the perfect person to be signing up and putting yourself out there to do the Open for that reason. Because each year, Greg now has, for however many years, this is the 20th year actually. I think this is the biggest 20th year.
No, it's 15 or 16, I think. 2011, so...
No, okay, I'm wrong. Yeah. No, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But meaning like there's
this
whatever.
will be 16 years.
There's 15 or 16.
Next year's will be 16 years.
Yeah, there's 16 years there of data for Greg. That every single year he gets to go back and go, you know what, man? My burpees were terrible last year, which probably means you have a deficiency in like your gymnastics to move your body weight. So I'm actually going to work on this now, which means he's going to see the most progress in that area as well, because that's the most area that he can improve on. It might take... If it was lifting, for example, and you're a really accomplished lifter, you understand this, is that it might take 10, 12, 16 weeks, sometimes the whole year just to put a kilo on your snatch or 5 kilos, all right? But if you get exposed during the Open, which you will, in a really exciting way, it shows you now where your focus can be and where you can actually improve and where the most joy and happiness and success will come from with your training. And you won't know that until you put yourself out there in the Open. I used to be so scared that I'd get pulled off my pedestal and I'd be exposed in the Open. And now, as I've started to mature as an athlete and as a coach, I sit there and I go, man, I hope something pops up that I just can't do. Because that means I now have a focus point for the X amount of weeks after that I'm going to absolutely throw down to make sure that that area is improved with my fitness.
Yeah. That's called maturity in the gym.
100%.
Now's the time. Now's the time to get excited about it. Now's the time to like knuckle in. I would hate for people to not use the 1st of January 2026 to not like set a statement and like set the tone for the year. If you're waking up on the 1st of January with a sick hangover, then you've kind of missed a little opportunity to just set the tone for the year. So I'm not going to try and make anyone feel bad, but honestly, set the tone early, start knuckling in on your nutrition if you're struggling with that. Try to get more consistency. I know like we're in holiday season, so people might be like traveling or going overseas or going to the beach a lot, but knuckle in with your training, get consistency, find some friends as well that might be training at the same time as you that you can use as accountability. And now's the time to just really knuckle in and work hard, because you'll be paying for it if you don't and if you wait till the last second.
And you know what? It's 8 weeks from now. Like, it's 8 weeks. They get 26th of Feb. So, 4 weeks in Jan, 4 weeks in Feb. It's at the end of Feb. Just for 8 weeks, our challenge to you is set the tone with your fitness and take this seriously. Like, what's 8 weeks of your whole life that you can just sit there and you can just say, you know what? Man, I actually did this right. I actually ate well. I actually got my 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Well, hopefully, depending on kids and whatever. But, like, you actually brought some intensity to your training. You didn't just come in 2 minutes late, miss half the warm-up, but you do absolutely everything on the program. Go talk to Greg, myself, Sarah, Joel, whoever the coach is for the day about, you know what, how can I get the most out of my day? Hey, what do you think I need to work on? And like have these honest conversations. And I guarantee after 8 weeks that you won't even recognize yourself if you just put your head down. And I think it's really cool. It's at the start of the year for us. So it's like, I know stereotypical new year, new me, but imagine if you started the year with 8 weeks of momentum, honest momentum too. Like, I think that just carries such weight for the rest of the year. And you're going to just not even recognize yourself. Like, I think that's why I'm so excited, man, because the amount of progress I get to see from the day-to-day members. Like, I'm excited for the competition side of things, don't get me wrong, but I get more joy out of seeing people having a crack, showing some effort, showing up, putting yourself out there, and that reward will be huge.
Yeah. We'll be doing it Saturday morning. It's going to be sick. We're going to, like, set the gym up to make it an experience. And the main experience comes from everyone's getting around each other and the atmosphere. But we'll bring our best A game if you bring a really good attitude as well. Go on games.crossfit.com and like read a little bit more about it. I don't think registration's opened yet, so you can't sign up, but we'll let you know when that happens. And all you need to do is just sign up to our gym, so CrossFit Dux, and then we'll take care of the rest. In the meantime, got anything else to say?
I just finish on this because we get this question every year. It's one of the biggest why people don't do the open. I'd rather just give Greg the money and do the workout in the class. Or, I feel like Greg and CrossFit Dux benefits from you signing up to the open under our gym.
I mean, we're talking about like $20.
I know. But there's sometimes people just say, I don't want to pay if it's just in the class. Yeah. I'll just look to see what score I kind of got on the leaderboard. It's free anyway. It's like, no, we get incentive if you sign up this year.
All them rogue plates that we have, the new rogue plates and a few of the ropes as well, the rogue rowers, we got that because we had such a big showing in participation from last year's CrossFit Open. So to me, that's like us showing a little bit of respect to CrossFit Open and to CrossFit HQ, but also, just put your money where your mouth is and get on the leaderboard and, do it the legitimate way.
Do it right.
Yeah.
And you signing up, you do not understand the weight that will carry with your peers to also help them sign up. And that might be the difference between them getting a result, them bringing a friend, them changing their lives, because you do not understand that when you do something, the inspiration you give your peers.
Yeah. There are a few people that are like, oh, I did the workout just on my own and I would have came like 8th or something. It's like, bro, no, prove your fitness, sign up to the CrossFit Open, and we all go on the same leaderboard, and talk is cheap. Just prove your fitness.
All right, next podcast, before we finish up, I want to say, we're going to start talking about like each week, how can you best prepare yourself for the open, what movements we regularly see, what's happening in our like weekly program and the extra credit and what we're trying to provide so you can do that, what skills you maybe need to work on. We're probably going to bring other coaches in as well to talk about their open experiences too, which is really exciting. But we're trying to keep these podcasts short and sharp so you can listen to, I think Alex told me he was mowing his lawns and he listened to it last week or last time we did one. But like, we're hoping that you guys keep paying attention, keep taking these 30 minutes to listen, because that's a big part of doing the research to be better at the Open too.
True.
Yeah.
True. All right, team. Have a good New Year's, and we'll see you in 2026.
So.